from the project NTSC. I'm from Budapest, Hungary, and I came to A4 with this idea of Ephemeral Mirage, which is basically concerns like Hungarian radio broadcasting from past like several decades, and because of my like social science background and sociology background, I was really concerned with, I'm really like interested in the facts and facts that like how this one medium kind of like influenced like several generations for several years, and kind of like still influences many people in the making. And on the other hand, I'm really like, because of like sound design and music, I kind of wanted to like combine these two things all together. The project I will be presenting or performing is called Ephemeral Mirage. This is the piece that like concerns this radio, like the medium of radio in Hungary in the past like couple of decades. And I really love to like picture this like whole space in A4 as like an inside of a radio or like inside of a machine, when like which kind of like emits different sounds. This was kind of like my approach, that I try to be basically this radio machine and like this emitter that kind of like makes the sound, and the audience as the listener like kind of like switching in between channels and switching in between like different eras and different decades in the past 50, 60-ish years. The first week I started, it was really like overwhelming, because I also like came to this space here, and I mean it's just like huge and kind of like it's a bit overwhelming, and I had this like really clear moment from the start before I arrived. Like I don't know, I recorded a couple of like radio sounds in Budapest to just like recorded these like audio recordings, and I had those, and I really wanted to like focus on how like propaganda starts to like sneak into our ears and like sneak into our like to the listener's head basically, and how it became in the past like several years with like the current regime like a invisible kind of like actor in broadcasting and radio. I think to come up with a structure, I kind of like messed around with different like things, also like how this like, I don't know, maybe the anger builds up in one while listening to like propaganda. That was like one approach, but at the end I kind of like I threw that away, because I went with this like more chronological idea that like how democratic voices emerged and evolved and kind of like transformed into like more demagogic or more propagandic voices in radio broadcasting in Hungary. Like when I was like a kid, or I was like younger, I always like remember when we go to like a vacation with the family, and we always just listen to like the radio in the car. I inherited like a really old radio from one of my like great parents, and I don't know, and I just like kind of like messed around with it and just like listen to like different channels, different news, and also like I really loved how for instance in Budapest there are like still you can catch some like Slovak stations as well, and also what else, like I don't know, for instance like on the western border of the country you can like already catch some like Austrian broadcasting, and I always found it really fascinating that like how I don't know, like radio stations don't even like know borders, and like just like somehow you get a tiny glimpse into like other like realities or other like I don't know broadcasting experiences. an older generation, it's a better device and an understandable device because they know what they will get. But for a younger generation, I think they don't really like get the appeal. Maybe they don't really have like that experience that I used to have with, like, you know, going to vacation and, like, you know, listening to the radio with, you know, with your parents and, you know, family or friends. I think it might, I don't think it will disappear, but it will just kind of like, will go through like a massive change. I wasn't aware that, like, in Slovakia and especially like Bratislava, there's like such a really vibrant and diverse music scene, and like how like kind of like metal and like punk, core and experimental music is such a thing, like from, I don't know, 200 kilometers away from Budapest and like from Hungary. It's for me was unbelievable in a way. Yeah, and I don't know, it kind of like gave me like the whole residency program kind of like gave me a push to apply for more grants and more residency programs and try to experiment more and kind of like widen my approach on my work and my ars poetic my vision on my work, basically.
Внимание, внимание!